And hello. Happy Good Friday to you all. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP in for you on this Good Friday. We hope that you are looking forward to celebrating our risen Lord on Sunday, but are taking time to remember what happened on Friday. And I don't know if you've seen The Passion of the Christ, but it is worth a rewatch, because this morning Chris and I were talking, and I don't know if you guys ever get in these random conversations, but you sit and think, how did he do that? How was he ripped apart? What did that actually look like? Could we have even stood it had we been in the crowd that day? And then on the other side of that, of what our Father did for us, what Jesus did for us, I also saw something compelling this morning. And that is all the people who sought to discredit Christ, discredit the Bible, discredit Christianity, who ended up becoming believers, which is also fascinating and interesting, and maybe something for you to consider this weekend. So, everyone, and why are we even thinking about this? It's not just because it's Good Friday. It's because the Artemis II, which was built and tested in Alabama, they're shooting back pictures of this glorious earth that God created. And you wonder, how in the world, we are so tiny, would he even consider any of us at all? And yet he did. And today is that day where we know he did. So, good morning, friends.
Happy Good Friday.
This is very serious. But it's a serious topic. It is very hard for me to watch The Passion of the Christ. I think I've only watched it once. And I've thought about that maybe we should make it and, at least watch it once a year, because to be reminded of what happened on that day, literally the world changed. The entire calendar of the world changed that day. If you think it's year 2026, that's because of Jesus Christ. Pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
And we so flippantly, maybe growing up in America, which we're starting to not be able to take it for granted anymore, but we just don't really think about it that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Beth, you were talking about what he went through. I believe that in the Shroud of Turin, I think is legit. That's a conversation for another time. But if you look at the shroud and the beating he took from the what is on the shroud, I mean, lashes head to toe. It is inconceivable to even imagine. And yeah, I think I watched The Passion of the Christ last year on Good Friday. It's it's hard to even picture it, honestly.
It really is. We were reading in Charles Spurgeon and this morning, and it just kind of got me thinking that part of this Friday. But sometimes it just stumps you and you think, holy cow, if he did that for us, each of us, how do we get so wonky in our daily lives? Like, what would it mean if we took seriously that A, he did that for us, B, that there's historical evidence for it, and C, just in light of the Artemis II circling the globe, circling the beautiful world, and thinking he put us here for this time, so shouldn't we be about whatever it is he's asked each and every one of us to do? Like, live lives on purpose for him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Good Friday isn't meant to necessarily be an inspiration. I know many churches hold services of darkness tonight, but it does make you stop and think, there's so many other things I could take much more seriously if we lived on a daily basis like it was true. And we do for a couple days, but that's why we're sheep. We forget. And that's why it's good that Good Friday is here to help us remember. And I do hope that I will say I was very bothered by all the school buses. We used to have Good Friday off. Did you guys have Good Friday off?
Always.
Yeah. I mean, when they went and picked up the kids, because I dashed out for a walk and I thought, oh, like the kids I'll see kids today. And yes, I know I went to a Christian school. I got it. But still, everywhere in Birmingham, everybody was off for Good Friday.
Wait, y'all were off for Good Friday at public school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never were. I didn't have Good Friday off until I went to a Christian high school.
Okay.
Oh yeah, always. It's just weird that we're not now, but we're open on Christmas and Thanksgiving and actually yesterday I was up at the summit and the scrummit. Not
don't say the other one. Don't say the other one.
Okay, I won't say the other place you can go. Way worse. And one of the stores had a sign up that said, we will be closed on April 5th to observe Easter. And it was actually anthropology, which I don't really think of as
really.
Yeah, but I was proud of them. I don't know if everybody else is going to be open, but that's good. And then all the Black Friday stuff, they've started not opening so early. So maybe we're learning from our mistakes a little bit.
Well, if you look back at a picture, it's one of my favorite pictures. Have y'all seen the
I know what you're going to show.
What?
Picture of New York City from 1956.
How did you know?
Because I just saw it. We are all basically on the same feed now.
Have you seen this picture, Allison, of New York City on Good Friday?
The skyscrapers lit up.
Yeah.
That was okay.
3 crosses. Yeah. But hold on, I'm pulling it up. But
not that long ago.
I know. And now it's run by a Muslim socialist. Can you imagine that?
Eats dates.
Yeah.
Cross-legged on the floor.
All these are wet peas. I can't put up wet peas. Anyways, yeah, it not that long ago. It was just culture to honor Good Friday. What?
I'm okay. So we did Easter at our house last year. This year it's going back to Jared's parents' house. Jared's mom loves Easter. It's like bizarre. I mean, I love Easter too, but anyway. And we're supposed to bring a turkey and an appetizer. And I found this recipe for goat cheese stuffed dates wrapped in bacon.
Are you going to call them Mom Donnie specials?
Well, I mean, I bought all the stuff to make them. And then I was like, wait, it's dates. Ugh. And there's like some writing on the front, like I guess Arabic or whatever. And I guess it spells dates. But then I was like, no, we're good. We're good because I'm wrapping them in bacon.
I love you so much.
That's how I justified it. But it's funny now because every time I see dates, I'm like, should I mean, I don't know if I can be seen with these dates.
It's like throw them into your cart and cover them up.
Somebody's going to be taking a picture and post it. It's like Allison Sinclair eating dates. Is she Islam advocate?
Muslim.
She's secretly Muslim. Where's your hijab?
Obviously.
Hey, with what goes out about us, it's probably coming. Maybe I should start door dashing all my food, or what's it called? Instacart.
You should probably Instacart.
Yeah.
Of course, then some ding dong would be hiding out at our homes to take pictures of what's in our Instacart delivery and who's delivering it.
Oh,
what is y'all's?
People are funny.
What is y'all's favorite Easter food though? Okay, well, first off, do y'all eat anything specifically for Easter in your family, or is it just specific foods like that you eat more on Easter than others?
Hold on, I gotta find the name of these things.
Easter looks a lot like Christmas, which looks a lot like Thanksgiving.
So you just do the same every
kind of. I think maybe the addition is Jared's mom makes deviled eggs.
That was gonna be my answer.
Yeah, for
deviled
Easter. I don't think we have. Maybe we have those at Christmas, but it's basically some version. Maybe a little lighter.
Yeah,
a little. Did something just
That's
ding?
me.
Was that what?
Me
I thought
and
maybe
my
it was my
sounds.
brain.
well, all of ours went off because it's the same thing.
What about y'all? What do you do? Are you ordering Mexican or something?
Oh, nope. I've decided. Okay. So I've decided that I'm going to go back a few years, and we took tea when we were on one of our travels. Actually, we took tea twice.
You're not having tea.
And you know how they serve tea, but it's like layers of like ham biscuits and scones and blah, blah, blah. I've decided that's what we're going to have. Easter food, but Britishized. That's not a word. I just made it up. But
British
serve it
iced.
like it's tea.
I love that, actually.
So I'm actually gonna make myself go into Michael's. Oh no, actually I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby. There's a couple things I need for the table, and that's what we're going to serve. And I told the men there's going to be enough manly food like ham biscuits and roast beef, probably with Dijon, because I don't think anybody likes horseradish. But then the desserts are all I really care about. But that's my change up this year is Easter food served like we were in England.
You need to watch Bridgerton
Okay.
because all their parties is exactly what you're about to serve. They have the 3-tiered serving platters and everything is decadent and takes a lot of time and energy. I'm really proud of you.
I know that Chris couldn't figure out why I was stressed out yesterday. I was like, it's because I invented another thing to do. But it's going to be fun.
And then the other night, we happened to all end up on a FaceTime call together, which was weird. We didn't even have it planned.
Oh, yeah.
And you're making flatbread,
Yeah,
like
it's real-
handmade flatbread.
Yeah.
It's
It's
easy. She's on the
easier.
call and she's literally doing this. I'm like,
I'm sorry. But I was making flatbread.
you're like Martha
I
Stewart.
made gyros. And honestly, they're better.
Buy the
if you-
pita.
No, they taste better if you just make it. And I have a Greek yogurt flatbread recipe that
Oh my
literally
gosh.
takes just whip, blah, blah, sit there. The rolling out, I have to admit, I have to ask the Holy Ghost for help when I get a little irritated with myself for inventing this idea. But then when you eat them, so
Worth
much
it.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
JP, what do you
So
look
your
forward
favorite
to?
food?
Green bean casserole.
Ham,
I'm not a green bean.
I know. we
deviled
covered
eggs.
this.
Ham and deviled eggs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The ham is great, but my dad, shocker,
Of course, your dad.
makes the best deviled eggs. I feel like every year when it's Easter time and it comes time when we're about to eat, I just walk in. I'm like, all right, where are them deviled eggs at? Where's the plate?
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
do you eat?
At least
Do you
5.
pop them in whole?
Yeah.
You take
Well, it depends. Sometimes the bigger eggs, I'll eat it and take a bite in the middle first, but normally I just pop them. But
does he put relish in them,
Oh,
or what does
yeah.
he do? Okay, and do you have the sprinkly stuff? Is that red pepper? I don't know.
Paprika.
What it is. Paprika. There you go.
paprika. Yes.
Paprika.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's got this own
Of course he does.
egg cooker that it's got like I don't even know what it's maybe common. I've never seen it until I saw my dad using it, of like a cooker that you cover a lid over, but it's got like egg holders in the middle and it
I've got
steams
that.
it.
It's magical. You
Yeah.
need one.
And then
But you
just
can
peel
only
it.
the one I have. You can only make like 6 at a time.
I think it's about the one he's got.
Oh, so he takes
And he just but they're so good. That's probably the food I look forward to the most on Easter.
Deviled eggs.
We
Does he make like a honey baked ham?
Yeah.
Of course he does.
we have deviled eggs at most, but especially on Easter, we have the most on Easter.
What's Charles's secret like herb or spice that he puts in?
I don't know. I have to ask him this weekend, but I was on the phone with him 2 nights ago,
Mm.
and he goes, "Should I make orange rolls this weekend?" And I go, "I'm not gonna stop you."
He sent us a picture of those orange roll. Hey, Charles, if you're listening, can you just make like an extra pan, send home? Well, it's for JP.
Yeah, it's for me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
for his
so he can eat.
happy work environment.
They're like the size of your palm. I
Yeah,
swear.
they weren't the little ones.
No, the little ones are sad. You need the big ones.
Mhm.
I mean,
So-
like with orange roll. So, are y'all coffee people at lunch? Do you have tea, like iced tea, lemonade? What's your drink of choice?
We're kind of free for all, honestly, in our family. My dad normally has like a Red Bull.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. Okay.
Yeah, the drinks are kind of free for all, but yeah,
Hmm.
I'll be eating orange rolls, ham, and deviled eggs Sunday.
I'm already hungry for that. That sounds wonderful. Are y'all drink of choice people? Like, does anybody make a signature drink for the holiday, or are you just tea, lemonade?
I don't even think
Whatever.
about the drinks. Like I honestly, that wouldn't even cross my mind. Do y'all do something special?
No, I just
Okay.
grab.
Maybe I'm a loser.
When Granny Ram had her house, her old house,
Yeah.
when we'd have Plot Easter over there, she made her own lemonade from her lemon tree.
Sure, she did.
So it used to be lemonade at Granny Rams, but
So y'all are basically Alabama's Martha Stewart. Is that what you are?
pretty much.
Okay.
She still has that lemon tree in her new condo, though. It's pretty impressive.
I would like to grow a lemon tree. I just don't know. I told Chris this year, this is a year that our plants last from the time we plant them until the fall, and then the front will be flourishing, but we actually have to keep our sprinklers on. So a lemon tree to me is so beautiful. I just don't know if I'm responsible enough to try to grow one.
I've almost given up.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
honestly, because are you the person, I don't know. I mean, we all are paying attention to bills in the house, but do you or Jared get so irritated by the water bill halfway through the summer that you're like, what are we doing?
I'm sure Jared does.
Yeah, that's Chris.
I don't really.
That's
pay
the
attention.
sprinkler.
I don't really see.
It's the same thing with the gas,
Yeah.
in the winter, it's crazy high. And I'm like, it's for the fires we start. And I'm not good at starting fires without the gas.
Yeah.
You got a good fireplace at your house.
I am married to a pyro. And so he's a good fire setter. So is his mother. But I just wondered, but I just said, listen, we start working in the yard today. We have to pinky swear that we're going to like keep the water on the whole summer. So I'm going to try, but maybe I'll shoot for a lemon tree. You don't know. Yeah, anything's possible.
I'm surprised you haven't had a lemon tree already.
We did in Florida. We did in Florida, but we haven't here. Because in Florida, you're not an actual Floridian, however long you live there, unless you have a citrus tree in your yard. And we had we had orange trees. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, we can't do that here.
So we also had yard guys. So it came with the neighborhood. All Florida neighborhoods do that. Doesn't mean you're special. So I got spoiled. I'm like,
that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I do have some news.
What's that?
Because I'm the keeper of all things chocolate, because I was born in Hershey. Okay. I would like to let you know, because I'm sure that the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is the most popular thing people buy on Easter if you're a candy buying family. By 2027, their cheap ingredients will be out of their products, and they've implemented new quality control measures. This is from a Hershey family member. And I just would like to report that to the world. I heard that this morning and I was like, this is great news.
JP's excited.
I know.
I am excited.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups have always been made with high quality ingredients, but spin-off candies, not so much. So maybe Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are going to get even better.
Gosh, the Reese's eggs are one of the best candies ever. Which, by the way, are y'all Peeps? Do you like Peeps or no?
I have a daughter who loves Peeps.
I don't get the Peep hate, to be honest with you.
Wait, you like Peeps?
I mean, they're not the greatest candy in the world, but everybody's just like, everybody bashes the Peeps as if they're not edible at all. Like, they're marshmallows, just eat them. But yeah, the Peep hate every year I see, it's like, this was a waste. It's like, they're freaking marshmallows. Just
they're iconic.
Yeah.
Do you like Peeps?
No, I just put them in the microwave to watch them explode.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's funny. They turn into giant Peeps.
They burst.
Yeah.
What?
That's the only thing they're good for.
Come on.
How am I today years old and I don't know about this?
No, it's awesome. But otherwise, it's just like.
Could you do s'mores with Peeps?
You could, yeah.
could.
They're marshmallows.
I mean, you could make use of them that way.
Which, by the way, speaking of I saw this one eat key lime pie at the AG debate. And I looked at it, I said, I thought that was
the AG debate.
Remember? We had the dessert on the club, and I had strawberry cake.
She ate it?
You had key lime pie, and I saw you eat it, and I was like,
Allison.
I was like, what happened to the...
Oh, I guess when it comes to key lime pie, I don't recognize
that is like the most
yeah, you had cheesecake, didn't you?
I don't know if it's
Wasn't
it was
it
strawberry
cheesecake?
cake. Strawberry cake.
Yeah. That's funny because key lime pie doesn't make me think those things.
Really?
Yeah. But it is exactly what you're saying it is.
Mhm.
So I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
She picks and chooses.
You could totally judge me. Yeah,
The key lime is a lot more
you're right.
than the peeps.
I
I
don't
am-
like thinking about it.
I am going to try the peep blow up in the microwave.
Yeah, take a video.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
post it
Start a fire. In
if
your
you
house
have.
on
I
it.
don't
Okay.
even buy them. I only like if they're lying around and I'm bored.
Before Wesley went to college, I always bought peeps, and I
Ugh.
sent them to her for college because she loves peeps. And I didn't know, because she actually ate the peeps, that I could have blown them up in the microwave.
It is marshmallows and sugar.
Yeah.
That is
And
that is.
sometimes
a
it
peep.
gets crunchy.
If it's stale, yeah.
Ew. Ew.
Yucky.
Okay. Well, that covers all the things.
That's all.
From
the
very
Easter things.
serious to
Yeah.
very
Not.
not at all, which is typical for a Friday.
And it's a good Friday.
It is.
Is it?
It is a good Friday.
That is a good Friday.
Oh wait, did we all wear dark today for Good Friday?
Yeah.
At least I did.
Did
I
you?
didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to.
I saw my black shirt and I was like, it is Good Friday, so
Mm,
kind of fits. But I noticed we're all wearing
Yeah.
today.
dark colors.
Is this the first?
it
Is this
goes
the
dark.
closest we've all gotten to matching clothes wise?
Yes.
Y'all two normally, well, most of the time are complimentary, and then I'm just like, whatever.
You're just.
But this is the first time we've.
Yeah.
I guess
Interesting.
we knew today was a solemn day. I don't know because it's beautiful outside. We
It-
both went. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's not winter.
No,
It's
I
not.
thought I wanted to wear something bright, and then I ended up wearing navy.
Yeah,
So,
you did.
That's close enough.
it's close enough. Like
Yeah.
we're close. We blend. We blend. We do have, beyond our usual catch up, which is super fun, a great show for you today. Catherine Robertson is coming in at 11. And we're going to talk to her about the race and other things that are going on. We have a montage for you after the break, and you know the drill. We're going to go through the montage. And then we have JP on Sports and Clown World. So basically, we're the like wind up show, and it is going to drive itself today. And we're here for it. So it's going to be great.
We got a jam-packed Friday.
I do think if we can, because we talked peeps and lemon trees and Jesus's death on the cross, which is crazy to say in the same sentence. If we can spend a little bit of time talking about what's going on in Iran.
That's in the montage.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Like
It's
some of the
like-
updates.
yeah.
Okay.
So much happened last night. Generals getting fired.
I'm getting on Twitter
Secretaries
now.
getting fired. Jets. I mean, there's just a lot. So I think, yeah, okay, if that's in the montage, then we can cover it after the break. Anything else happening? I did see
Pam Bondi fired.
I'm not sad that Pam Bondi was fired.
Did y'all hear allegedly the reason why?
Did it relate to Eric Swalwell? What did you hear?
I heard that the reason the straw that broke the camel's back was she was accused of leaking to Swalwell the Fannie Faye Fang investigation.
Yeah.
And that was like the thing.
that's what I heard.
And I heard that it happened right before the address and she was begging him not to. And he was, too bad, you're fired. You're fired. And he was,
Do you think that's why he was kind of solemn during his address? Like he's like exhausted by all the women he surrounded himself with.
Interesting take.
He's like, oh, now I gotta go convince people of the war. Here we go.
well, here's the thing. Blanche is the acting AG and he may be worse.
I agree.
Oh, guys.
He's the one that said it's not wrong to party with Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
What's so wrong?
Hmm.
Okay, promise to get to some news on the other side. Montage, Iran, Clown World, JP on Sports. We'll be back.
Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair, and we are joined by a dear friend of ours. Her name is Heather Davis, and not only has she become a counselor, not only has she written a Bible study, but she's one of the wisest women I know. And She can tell you about herself. We have so many questions for her. We're not going to get to all of them. But the main point today is, how do we deal with a generation of kids that no matter what we do, we seem to be doing it wrong? How do we have hard conversations? How do we broach uncomfortable subjects and not lose our mind doing it? How do we do that? So, welcome.
Hi, thank y'all for having me.
We're so glad you're here.
I'm a little overwhelmed by the honor and the love. So thank you.
Wow, I'm overwhelmed by the fun. Like, I've heard about Heather for years, and she walked in, and I was like, "Oh, she's one of us.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome."
Yes.
I think y'all are in for a treat, because I'm pretty sure it will all be said, like, not holding back. So, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So, first, real quick, what's your background, and did you ever see yourself doing what you're doing today?
No and yes. My background is I graduated from the University of Alabama at Birmingham in '93. Thought that I was going to be the next physical therapist, but apparently statistics are very important in that role. And so I never got an opportunity. Had worked at ASMI with Lee Mack, Andrews, and Rogers, the gods of orthopedics, and realized that the gods of orthopedics bow down to the God of the universe, because he had a plan. He brought me here under the guise of my personal wants and wish list, and he saved me, transformed me, and called me into ministry before I was 25 years old. So it was what I like to call a butt kicking in reality and practical theology. So 25 to almost 40-ish, I was on different church staffs here in Birmingham, always around connection, community, small groups. It had this just innate, from the time I was a little girl, ability to hear through the lens of the gospel and love people. And so was counseling before I was ever really into that. Had a horrific marriage, started doing a lot of therapy just to kind of get through what life throws at you. Addictions that, back in the late 1990s, early 2000s, we didn't say the word porn out loud. We didn't say affairs out loud. We didn't say sexual addiction out loud. These type of things were what I was dealing with. And on church staff, that's pretty taboo. So I had been on a staff where they were like, you need to step back and get your house in order. And that really kind of undid me. And the long and short of it is, I did a deconstruction of my theology to find out, well, if it's my husband who's sinning and he's the head of the home, how do I get my house in order? And so it really just kind of took the legalism that I had been brought up with. My parents are very good people, very moral. And then I, became Baptist in Birmingham, Alabama. And so I just traded one for the other. And so he really just started to show me what a practical theology was and how do you live out what you honestly believe. So long and short of it, I ended up doing master's program and getting counseling certifications. And now I'm a gospel coach. So my last accreditation is board certified master mental health coach. And I specialize in life recovery, addictions, and neuroscience. I work through the lens of NARM, which is a neuroaffectual relationship model, which basically means the biological, neurological way that our bodies and brains process. And so it's really kind of cool because that just flows right into theology. Forever, God's been telling us if we renew our mind, we can be transformed. And that's exactly what I get to do with people. So I love it. I know that's pretty heady, but
No, I'm so curious because a lot of people will say psychology, psychiatry is antithetical to the gospel, to theology, to God. But it sounds like you fuse the two. Like God created us, God gave us these mental capacities, He wired us. How do you put science and God together? Because most people want to separate them.
Right. So for me, as a Baptist even, it was very difficult for me to understand the difference between spirit, soul, and my flesh. Okay. And so
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth with Allison and JP having a Friday. And we finally have time for the montage. And after which we're going to dip into a couple of conversations. But because JP is a genius, he put him in the montage. So JP, take it away.
Apple News. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else.
Now, the Epstein files, you'd agree, not handled well? And I don't, first of all, I have never heard President Trump say that the Attorney General that anything that happened to her had anything to do with the Epstein files.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. Just wanted to fill y'all in on what's going on. You know, the stereotype of Congress and politicians in general is that we're pretty gutless and that we do something that we shouldn't, like a vote late at night, and then sneak out under the blanket of darkness. And that's pretty much what the Senate did. They cut a deal with Schumer, and then they snuck out. They voted for it and snuck out.
That the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, has now asked the Army Chief of Staff to step down. Is there turmoil at the Pentagon when we need everybody more than ever to be on the same page, sir?
Yeah, I'd be very curious to hear why. I mean, General George is a brilliant mind. I think General George and Admiral Paparo are two of the brighter minds we have in the military. I've never heard him say anything contrary to what the president is trying to achieve.
Okay, then. So, Pam Bondi, let's finish that conversation. Is anybody surprised that he let her go?
A little too late, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know why now there were so many other fumbles along the way. And it seemed like, I mean, even up to a few weeks ago, like I'm thinking of the State of the Union, his address, he was firmly behind her, touting her, defending her. So what changed? Did something acute happen? Like she did something very specific he didn't like? Or is this just finally snapped? I'm just done.
I think he'd been growing frustrated with her. I think the lack of prosecutions that are happening that I think he'd like to see happen, like Letitia James, Comey, all of those on top of the Epstein files brought a lot of bad PR and eyeballs to the administration as a whole. So I think maybe he was growing more and more annoyed. And then the report is that she leaked to Swalwell the investigation into Fang Fang. And that is reportedly the straw that broke the camel's back.
I'm glad she's gone. I think you didn't like her from the beginning. You didn't think she was going to be great.
Yeah, I didn't think look, I would like her to know her skincare routine. I mean, she looks fabulous.
Indeed.
She's pretty old.
70, I think.
At least 60 something.
Hold on.
Not that old.
Hey, let's ask Siri. You got to guess.
Hey,
we got to guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess 63.
67.
She's 60.
Okay,
60.
Anyway,
she's old.
She's really hot for
Yeah.
I hate saying that because you can still be hot at 60, not for 60.
You're
But
right.
anyway,
She's hot.
and she's very articulate when she wants to be, but from the beginning, her getting into this office, she just did not seem herself. She seemed kind of unsteady, and she had that woman's voice that just kind of is like nails on a chalkboard. Almost like every time she talked, you thought you were getting in trouble, or she was talking at you, kind of down to you or something. And you can still be effective. I can get over that. We don't have to hang out, but like something weird happened, which is kind of becoming the story.
I didn't include it in the montage, but you all see what Massey said in a podcast recently about her?
No.
He said that he actually got the sense from the start of the Epstein files that she was willing to release everything. And if you remember the folder situation where all those
Yeah.
influencers came up and had got folders, she apparently was aloof that there was pretty much nothing in those folders. And that's caused her to get annoyed with the FBI. And then it was around that time, according to Massey, somebody got to her and said, yeah, your job is to cover this up. And then something changed after that. And she was fully defensive on the Epstein situation.
So do you think that Bongino and Bondi are in the same boat with because if you recall her time on Fox, she was pretty fiery and she did good things for the state of Florida. But now it makes you wonder if both of them got there full of like, let's do this. And then that kind of conversation happens. Whereas Bongino's response is to be defensive and rude. You're defensive and rude if you're covering something up just as easily as if, well, I just think defensiveness tells you that there's more beneath the surface. But you wonder about Bondi as well, because you're right, she did change. She went in just fiery, great hearing. Do you remember her at her hearing? It was great. And then she gets in and a little time passes and then you're like, where'd she go? All these slam dunk, knock out of the park, game-winning goal, nothing. So something is happening there, and it does make you still wonder who is really pulling the strings and what are they asking people like Bondi and Bongino to do or not do. Like it makes you think, something else is happening here.
Yeah, I think it's the story we see a lot, whether it's in Montgomery or DC. You go in, you're a little idealistic and naive to what actually goes on. And I don't even pretend to know all the workings. But I think some of it, they get there and they're blackmailed and extorted and they're compromised by whether they're like into bimboification or whatever it is, they're whatever they can find on them. It's always the possibility, and I hate to give them a pass, but is there still the possibility out there that what they know, if it were released, is so explosive, so global, like the balance of the world hangs in if this came out or not kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, so in some way, are they protecting us? I have to question that because it's great. You can sit on the outside. It's like what we do. We don't know what's happening in Montgomery unless you tell us. All we know is what we see and we act on that. So if you want to give us some insider information, we can work with that. But until you do, so you go in and you all of a sudden get all this information. You're like, whoa, maybe we shouldn't share that because the world will collapse. I don't know. Maybe we're past that. What do y'all think about that theory? Like, are they in the end protecting us?
I mean,
And why would she be crying and begging him to stay if she really, if she, let's see, let me think about that. Why would she be crying and begging him to stay?
I know an answer.
Those are lyrics of a song, I think.
Taylor Swift song. What's your answer?
Because she likes to be the AG and go on Fox News and be the girl. Like I like that. I think that was the reason. And I mean, I think she followed orders when she was told what to do. Go and get defensive and talk about the NASDAQ when
Oh my gosh,
the
that was
Epstein
so
files.
stupid.
So I mean, she followed what she was told to do. So I don't think it was her integrity was keeping her up at night with how the Epstein situation was handled. I just think she eventually was told, like, hey, I know you think this is about transparency, but this is really what the goal is with all of this. And I think from there she understood her orders. But yeah, I think from the outside looking in, I think she liked being the AG. That's just my, she liked going on Fox News, getting all the eyeballs. Yeah, how many times did she go on Fox News?
A lot.
Yeah. So that's just me. That's
got to be hard. You go from being on your way up to being something, and then what? I mean, she'll be fine, but I would hope that it is as simple as she didn't prosecute enough people. But in this day and time, when is that ever enough? When is the simplest answer the answer? I think this is layered.
I just don't buy that, because you prosecute what you're allowed to prosecute. If Trump had wanted her to prosecute, she would have. If you're saying she did everything she was asked to do, then that means Trump and the higher ups didn't want her to do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, who says it was Trump that told her that?
Well, I mean, Trump, he's the leader of this whole gang. And eventually it has to stop with him. I mean, he's not an idiot. He watches what's going on. So if he really wanted prosecutions, we would have prosecutions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you disagree?
I mean, so I think she when I said following orders, I think it came to Epstein, and I think Trump actually was really satisfied with how she handled the Epstein. I genuinely don't think the Epstein situation had to deal with this, but I mean, well, I know from somebody who has been in one of the DOJ meetings that Trump is overall very annoyed with the lack of prosecutions and the lack of things happening. So that he is not happy with that right now. And that's across the board, the DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pam Bondi may be getting or had been getting a lot of that frustration from him that we're not seeing Letitia James, Comey, all of the others that tried to put him under the jail when there seems to be issues. They're not making it happen. Like the Democrats found a way around. They found loopholes. They found the right court. They did all the things to go above and beyond to do their prosecutions. And I just feel like Trump probably thinks that the DOJ is taking no for an answer, or like, oh, well, we tried this too hard, and isn't doing what is required to get those prosecutions. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the Epstein situation is what he was most frustrated at her about. I think it's just across the board and a growing annoyance with the DOJ as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So is Todd Blanche going to get it done?
No.
Okay. So
he'll just be acting.
What are we doing?
A lot of people think that
actually. Didn't you want to put Lee Zeldin in?
Yeah.
That's weird. I like Lee, but
I do too.
A lot of people have been speculating that Blanche is really it wasn't even Bondi that was blocking the prosecutions and all of that. It's been Blanche.
Okay, so then why do you put him in as the head if you're wanting prosecutions? Do you see your logic breaks down at some point?
Well, okay, but this is thinking that Trump sees it all that way because he probably has a lot of faith in Blanche. Blanche was there with him at the when he was being prosecuted for 30-something felonies. And I mean, listen, Trump is probably not in the deep weeds of the DOJ and sees the inner workings of, well, Blanche is doing this. He's just, he's got all of the things to manage. So people within the DOJ or people leaking to the media may know that it's Blanche, but Trump may be like, oh, Bondi, but Blanche has been there with me. He's my guy. He'll,
mm-hmm.
I trust him, So I don't think Trump knows the very inner workings of it all as much as probably we think, even though he's the president.
Then that's a problem. If that is a priority, then that's a problem. You need to know.
You do.
I do hope he picks a governor to fill the spot and quits bringing people out of the House and Senate. Like, pick somebody who's a governor or somebody else that we respect, but please stop picking people that mess with our weak, very small majority. I've heard Ron DeSantis. I've heard Lee Zeldin. I hope that he picks somebody who will actually prosecute because that's what people want to see. We want to see people being prosecuted for crimes. That's it. And that didn't happen. So I hope it is as simple as she didn't do enough of what he wanted, but I don't know that that is wholly the case. But it is interesting because a lot of people knew who she was compared to other people knew Kristi Noem and they knew her. The other people, they're like, oh, I'm not so sure.
Maybe it's better to be unknown.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's better that way.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to watch this. I feel like everything's unraveling at once. And don't think that the Democrats, when they are back in power, as of right now, I would say we're on track to lose the midterms and lose the House and the Senate and probably the presidency. Don't think that Democrats won't prosecute everyone. Impeachment,
Yes.
taking everyone out. And probably we will all be in a gulag, especially the three of us.
Oh yeah,
Maybe we can be roommates.
we're cooked.
I don't know.
It is amazing that they are out there and pipsqueaks in the Democrat Party from different states up there talking about, I think it was in Chicago a couple weekends ago, we are going to do blah, 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 blah to the Republicans. Why do we not take that seriously? Did y'all really think they were just going to go after Trump? Do you not think they're going to go after all the other people? Because they will. This is another group that we just kind of dismiss them like, oh, it's the Kamala Harris crowd. No, there's some pretty dangerous people underneath that. So that's the part that terrifies me, is what they're already saying they're going to do.
Yeah. Why can't we be like that? Because they don't hide it. They say it and they mean it. And we just, I about said a word that I never said in my life, but I guess you can say it.
I don't know, but you're going to have
Say
to
it.
tell us.
No, I'm not going to say it. It's not a good word. It's very tacky. I'll tell you to embrace.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay. So then on the heels of that, let's pause there. Then we have Pete Hegseth, who is firing these generals. I think 3 of them yesterday.
Mhm.
No explanation, no notice, no nothing. What the hell
I have some
county is
news
that
on that.
about?
I got some news.
Because like the chief of staff of the army,
Mm.
who has been there, done this, has been in that position, my understanding, for a long time, that knows how war works. And maybe, is that the problem?
Yeah, I think it is.
Mm.
From an outside perspective, what this looks like with the timing is they didn't agree with how Hegseth has been a proponent for this and the Iranian war from the beginning. Trump even said it publicly that Hegseth was one of the first that was urging him to do this. So it looks like in a crucial time when we're about to, in the next couple of weeks, ramp things up in Iran, that they didn't agree with it and they were fired. That's how it looks.
So one of the generals, General George, does have some COVID issues. And there was a girl on with Catherine Herridge, that excellent reporter.
What do you mean? Like he has COVID, like he's sick?
A COVID vaccine injured soldier says General George ignored her case until Catherine Herridge's investigation exposed military records linking her 3 heart attacks to the mRNA vaccine. That's the only one with whom I can find any sort of intrigue. The others, though, I can't. And Mario Nawfal is also talking about the fact that the most revealing detail is buried in the Washington Post reporting of these 3 being fired, which is that Pete Hegseth has been clashing with Army Secretary Driscoll, who is close friends with J.D. Vance. So Hegseth can't fire Driscoll. He can fire the others, but he couldn't fire Driscoll. So he's going to make his life hell. And the source is the Washington Post. So this is very interesting.
I don't know.
This is all just over. I don't know if I buy that.
I don't either.
That may be an explanation. I don't know if it's the one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's but it's what's out there right now.
Yeah, I really try not to be pessimistic, even when I challenge or am cynical or question things. I normally try to have an alternative solution that I think would be better to provide. So I'm just not griping to gripe. I really try not to be just a Debbie Downer sort of person. It is hard to be optimistic about what's going on right now in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. It's looking more and more like we're getting dragged into something, but just the overall vibe, I feel like the wind and the energy has just been sucked from America as a whole, and not just the administration. With what's going on over there right now. Now the fighter jets were apparently shot down this morning in Iran by Iran.
There's a bounty maybe on the heads of the pilots. Yeah, I just think following Trump's speech the other night where he says 2 to 3 more weeks, we're going to put them back in the Stone Ages. Well, y'all, I don't know. I do wear the tinfoil hat way more than these two do. So take what I say. Look, this is the circle of trust. We're just talking.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. But what do you have to do if you're ready to turn Iran to glass? Well, you got to take out the people that might oppose you, remove them. I don't know. That's kind of what it seems. They were in the way of the next steps, potentially. Because otherwise it's a really bad look for the Trump administration. These guys that have given their lives to the military and just like, that wasn't very loud. I can't snap. Just like that. You just dismiss them, gone, no explanation, no talks, nothing to the public, nothing to them. Forget us. I just think it's weird and it makes me nervous, very nervous. And I don't think they expected to get shot down today.
No, I don't.
That's
and
a new development.
That's the only bit of news that I can find right now is that they are in a race to find the downed pilots. That's what's happening. Nothing more about the scrambled fighter jets. Nothing more about boots on the ground. Only that this is very serious.
Here's the other part of it.
Yes.
Trump is threatening. I think he even said it in his address that if Iran doesn't give us a good deal or something, that we're going to go after the power plants of Iran. That's a war crime. Full-fledged. And
wait, say that again?
Trump is threatening that if Iran doesn't give us what we want in negotiations, that we're going to strike the power plants of Iran, therefore knock out the power for the country. That's a war crime. And it's kind of bizarre that they're just so blatantly threatening that from behind the presidential seal. Like that's a war crime.
But hasn't Hegseth said in speeches like international war laws, whatever? I mean, it seems like they've been very flippant from the beginning. Maybe I'm taking things out of context. But they hit the desalinization plant, right?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I agree. International law is just like in the eyes of the beholder, I guess. But if your threat to like, hey, we're gonna like if you're trying to save the Iranian people from the regime, well, then we're gonna knock out your power. First of all, that doesn't seem like a very smart or effective thing to negotiate with. But also, yeah, it's just a blatant war crime. And I think we're just kind of at the point we don't care. But it is bizarre still.
I don't know. This is
search and rescue. I don't think they have the, what did you say they had?
They don't have them yet.
I still don't think they found the pilots. Where would they go?
I mean, they
hide.
I don't know.
Run to a bush.
I will say this: with markets closing today and then Trump having the speech this week, things may start soon to ramp up.
Can you do your explosion?
It's good.
It's the second wave. It's so good. He did that the other day. You were gone. I was like,
how do they do
like
that?
God gives boys away from like the time you're like 3. Girls don't have that. It's impressive. I don't know where Catherine Robertson is. She may be in the parking lot. She may be around the corner. We're going to go find her and we'll be back with her.
Y'all have heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't stand for conservative Christian principles.
Paul and his team are experts on what they call biblically responsible investing, And for a limited time, they're hosting a free class that you can register for.
Check out the class and register for free at moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly, it's conservative, and it's financial freedom.
Again, go to Inspire Advisors at moneypatternwealth.com. Check them out and tell them you heard about them at Rightside Radio.
It took me a long time to get the understanding that, my flesh is the part that has its own proclivities. It has its own predisposition towards typical types of sin. That's my flesh. That's the part of me that makes me human. Then there's the spirit, which is, I was made in the image of God. I'm an image bearer. We're all image bearers, and it's unique in each one of us. That's why we're all so valuable to the kingdom. And then there's this soul. This is the part was so elusive for me. It was just kind of like a mirage. Like, how do I grasp it? And the best way I've figured out how to hold on to it is it's a 3-part. It's your mind, your will, and your emotions. And so your mind definitely includes your brain, but it's more than just your brain. You've got your subconscious and your conscious. So the things that I say are biblical truths, the things I believe about myself, that mental tape, that's the subconscious, that's your mind. That's the part that's got to be transformed. Then you've got your will, which is, your disciplines and the things that each of us have or do not have. I kind of lack will when it comes to bread, Diet Coke, French fries, ice cream. I mean, there's a list, but my will is very low on those. And then there's your emotions. Well, your emotional state is definitely important, but I was not taught that way. I was brought up in a military, medical, Italian family. The emotions were not things we talked about. You were sent from the table till you could get it in order and come back, dry your face up. So the emotions, that's part of it. Well, what we've got right now is a generation that's led by their emotions. Then you've got, our generation, Gen X, which is totally led by will.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will do what we're going to do because we know. And so those two generations are really clashing. And then you've got the generation that's the mind, and these are facts, and that would be your baby boomers. And so that's where these generations are really struggling, is the way we see soul is so different that we're having trouble determining how do we even communicate about it, and even more so, how do we love these kids and give them the safety and security that they need, because we're the adults and we've been there. And we know what it was like to be raised by people who didn't value emotion and they didn't value will. They only valued trust or truth and achievement. And so we're in that precipice where they all meet, and it's kind of like the rubber meets the road, and we're dealing with it because these kids are not believing what we believe.
Not at all. And is that why? That's just so interesting, that clash of civilization, really. But is that why you mentioned a minute ago, the kids today seem to be so led by their emotion? It doesn't matter what logic you present. It doesn't matter. I mean, even going so far, and you and I have talked about this, where some people will say, well, what is truth? As if it's this nuanced thing that we can create rather than a concrete, no, truth is. Right. We rotate around the truth.
My truth, and your truth.
Yeah. Can you talk to us about that? I mean, why?
We talk about the postmodern world, like that's where we're at postmodern. And so relativism is incredibly real. I just had a conversation with my oldest child, who's 26 and in law school. And she asked me specifically, are you okay with the unkind treatment to people who are not citizens of our country? And I was like, help me understand what unkind is. And she goes, Mama, you got your therapy hat on. And I was like, well, I need to understand your terms, because that's where we're at. Her version of unkind is an experiential unkind. For me, clear is kind. Unclear is unkind. Kindness means I would extend something to you that you have not earned. It's a gift. Kindness is a gift. And she was like, well, I don't think kindness is that way. It's an attribute. And I was like, okay, that's where we're at. We have to define terms with this generation, because theirs is an experiential, emotional thing. Kindness is a character trait.
This segment brought to you by We Do What We Want.
Just when you're ready, girls.
When you're ready.
Whenever it's
here,
convenient.
Hey, but cheers.
Cheers. Look, what are the chances? I have been in this chair for 4 minutes.
And y'all were late. And you were early today.
What
weird. In the world?
I don't know.
Oh, woo-woo. Am I in trouble?
I take it back. I will never be early again. It's so overrated.
She also, by the way, said y'all were casual. Should have known better.
Yeah.
No,
I am casual.
Blazer over here.
Here.
Look.
There we go.
Better. We do casual Fridays, except that is
because
I
am hot.
It's casual Friday. Let me throw my white blaze.
Listen, it's to cover up my F level because I hadn't had enough coffee.
Yeah.
But it's on Friday and I changed a million times. I don't care.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
Yeah. Well, I'm at a D+, so we're good.
Okay.
Drink your coffee.
I know. It's
too
hot.
Okay.
It's coming around.
We're drinking.
Almost time.
So, all right, everyone, we're joined by Catherine Robertson. She is running for Attorney General. Today, we are going to talk about her op-ed in the Washington Post, and also was covered by 1819 News, and actually quite interesting.
Oh, good.
And we wanted to talk about that today because it's an issue that people don't probably even know about. I mean, there's, those laws when you're bored over Christmas holiday and the kids were home, they're like, let's look up dumb rules that are still on the books.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us about desegregation is still what?
Ongoing.
It's ongoing. What does that mean? What can we do to fix it?
Well, first, I feel like I ought to explain why I publish an op-ed in the Washington Compost. I just feel like we should get that out of the way.
That's good.
I had to actually pay to be able to read my own op-ed because I do not have a subscription to the Compost. So I just want to get that out of the way. But they are, I think, under new ownership, and they have like a higher quotient of needed conservative content. So I wrote this thing, and I thought it'd be cool to get this published nationally because I really want Trump DOJ to read it. And Washington Post took it because I guess they thought it was kind of a hot take and they needed one. So anyway, Washington
They're
Post.
probably trashing you in the comments, but at least you're out there.
Yeah, who cares? Hey, I mean, I'm a nobody and I publish an op-ed in the Washington Post. That's cool.
Say you run with it. But
JP, goals.
This
Squad.
Goals.
This goes back to the 1960s, Brown versus the Board of Education.
Right.
Explain that case and how in the world, like I know Hoover High School here in Birmingham is still under these court orders, vying for unitary status, whatever that pray tell that is. Kind of go back what that case was and why in the world we're still here.
Yeah. So go back to the 60s. Obviously, we were having some issues in the Deep South, and the state government was basically trying to prohibit integration from occurring. And so that decision said, like, you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. And so that led to all these other fallout things where federal courts are trying to direct specifically like the Deep South states that had the most, racial problems to do all these things and be viewed through this lens, almost like now we're going to babysit you from now on. And what's interesting is like we're still reeling from that in the redistricting space, which we can talk about.
Yeah.
But this is specifically about our public schools. And so we've got about 40 school systems across our state that are 40 roughly. Although one interesting thing is that we actually don't have like a state database of knowing exactly which ones are, but roughly 40.
Wow. I had no idea.
That are under these federal court orders entered by federal judges who most likely are no longer living, much less on the bench, saying that you've got to do X, Y, and Z to make sure your schools are fully integrated. Well, that today in 2026 is a very different perspective than what was happening in 1966. Right. There's really no credible accusation that there's a public school system in Alabama that is trying to prevent integration from happening. But yet these schools have to have private counsel, and they are constantly having to report data on the race of their students, the race of their teachers, the race of kids in the gifted program, the race of students who are disciplined, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all in this elusive quest to attain unitary status, which is a declaration from the court that you are officially, finally integrated to the degree that we want you to be. And so all these years later, most of our school systems have never either even attempted to attain that because it's too costly and expensive to go through the process, or they have continually tried and cannot ever get the blessing of the federal court. And so as we've been thinking so much about redistricting and what's at stake in this U.S. Supreme Court decision, Louisiana v. Calais, which is going to basically say, yes, you can, or no, you cannot continue to group people together primarily based on the skin of their skin color to draw congressional districts. Well, this is building, you have the Harvard admissions case that talked about race-based quotas and that kind of thing. The redistricting case has a lot of similarities to that. And so this is kind of a third issue, and they're all interrelated. And it's just essentially, does the Constitution allow you as a federal judge to impose upon a state grouping people together by race? And so the argument that we saw in the Harvard case is that there was a time where the court permitted that, but it was supposed to be a limited time. It was just the time that it needed to correct the problems it had identified. And the court in the Harvard case said, this has gone on way too long. Like, these problems have been corrected. Now you're creating the reverse type of discrimination. And so I think that's what we're seeing here. And so I just wrote this op-ed saying there's always a time and a place when a case or cases are ripe. And with the Trump Civil Rights Division and with this Calais case and with the redistricting fight, like, it feels like now's the time to have this conversation.
I feel silly that I had no idea this was still
I know.
on the books. What made you look into this? Or is this just something you've always known about?
Okay, so very great question. I hadn't, no one's really asked me that. So when I worked at the Alabama Policy Institute and we were working on school choice issues, specifically the Alabama Accountability Act that was brand new in like 2013, I think, we heard from some school board attorneys that basically there were going to be problems with expanding school choice because it was going to butt up against these desegregation orders. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? So I started looking into it and I started to realize it really could become an obstacle, because if you're worried about quotas and students are free to move around, you're going to disrupt whatever this magical number is you're trying to reach. And so that has not come up recently, but that's what got me thinking about it a long time ago. And when I got to the AG's office, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to do something about this. This will be amazing. But there were two main problems and maybe some smaller problems. But first of all, we don't represent local school systems. And second of all, you know, a lot of the time that I've been in the AG's office, we had a Democrat or the holdovers of a Democrat administration. So, you know, Trump's 2016 DOJ had some deep state problems. I mean, that's when they sued us over our prisons. That was over Trump, because you recall, federal government didn't like jump on board with Trump's agenda back then.
Yeah.
So anyway, now just seems like the time to be talking about it and thinking about it. And my argument in the op-ed is that I believe we could represent these local school systems if they let us. And I would love to see the AG be able to go into a room with the Civil Rights Division and say, we are ready to settle these cases. And what gave me the idea to start talking about it now was they settled one in Louisiana and one in Tennessee. Now that's one. We've got roughly 40, but I think we could start making some progress towards it. And I think with, you know, Trump's, you know, he's almost at his halfway mark. Like it's time to see if we can make some progress.
So how many other states are still dealing with this? And I know Attorney General Steve Marshall likes to join other states on whatever, like write strongly worded letters with other states. Is there some way? Lawsuits. Is that something you could do to build a coalition there, or you just want to focus on?
This will be very state focused, individual Alabama. But I think, you know, were there to ever be, you know, this kind of conversation, some progress made, I certainly think you would see some of our allied states go, oh, Alabama's got something going on, let's do that too. And I do think you would see a movement to start building. But these will be just our cases because these are Alabama cases. So I think we'll have some support from the states around us, and Louisiana, you know, gave us a little glimmer of hope that they got one settled. And so I think you'll see this conversation grow beyond Alabama if we're successful. And that would be the hope, is that maybe we're the ones that have the template.
We want to lead Alabama.
Heck yeah.
Look at us go.
Okay. So one of the things I noticed in an article by April Marie that it is something I didn't even consider. This is back to, you mentioned they were correcting a problem and now it's creating more problems because it hasn't been corrected. Gifted education.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take on what this is doing.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you are like an attorney for a school board and you're advising your administration, who's then advising your teachers, who's then advising your support people, that race and everything matters and that everything's going to be looked at with a critical eye through the lens of race by a federal court, it is going to impact the way you make decisions. It's going to make you overly sensitive to who you're disciplining and who you're promoting and who you're hiring. And the argument is not that there wasn't a time for correcting this a long time ago. No one's arguing that. But in 2026, when now you can go get $7,500 to take anywhere you want to go, I mean, even if we didn't have school choice, these arguments are antiquated. But now, given what we've done with the Choose Act and Accountability Act and charter schools, I mean, if people take advantage of the gifts they've been given, they can go to any school they want. And so I just think it's shocking that federal courts continue to treat our state like we're 2 years out of the voting rights movement, and we're not. We're way beyond that civil rights movement. We've moved so far past that. We've given students so many more opportunities. And I think it's just time to treat everybody like students and treat everybody like teachers and treat everybody like voters in a congressional district and drop the race thing. Because it's like, how can we move on from race if federal courts keep telling us we have to view people like that?
Yeah. Ooh, preach it.
It's like the opposite of what we've been told.
It is the
all these
opposite.
years. It
It is
doesn't
the
make any
opposite.
sense. How much of you moving forward with this, because you are still in the Attorney General's
Mhm.
office and you still have the ability to make some of these happen, and you might be there permanently next year. But how much of this? Talk to us about the redistricting case, because the Supreme Court really could issue a ruling or a decision.
Yeah, we're expecting one
anytime
this summer. Yeah. I think the two things have like lots of overlap, but like if we were to lose Louisiana v. Calais, it wouldn't prohibit us from pursuing this, because I
so
really
it's
think
not
the
hinged-
stronger precedent is the Harvard admissions
Okay.
case, which was crystal clear on this issue. I think Calais would be just another, push that we're not doing this anymore on race, and we're not doing this to deep South states anymore. But even if that didn't turn out the same way, the arguments are not identical. It's just that race-based lens. And so what I wanted to do is toss it out there, and knowing that not everybody reads the Washington Post, I was glad to see, some local folks cover it. And I have already started hearing from people that, work for these school boards, work for these school systems. We want to talk. And so that idea kind of came from how we did the opioid litigation. We had local government sort of sign up with us to let us negotiate on their behalf. I don't see why we couldn't emulate the same thing here. So I wanted to kick off the conversation. We've established a relationship with Harmeet Dillon and those guys. And I mean, I think if we could go to them and say, we've got 20 school boards that want us to talk to you about this, like you might have something.
Oh, that's very encouraging, because you think about the circular argument and it would be broken up, which would be great. Don't look at somebody because they're race, but oh, by the way, you're going to have to look at them
exactly
based on their race. Like, it makes no sense at all. But I do know that people are going to be invested in this.
Yeah.
And so why would they give up what's been special for them, or what concessions have been made? That's just got to go away. It really does.
Yeah. And everybody is better off if it goes away, because, at the end of the op-ed, I said something about like, we need to teach students that like hard work and, the pursuit of knowledge is going to lift them up. And don't let anybody ever think they're second rate and that they gotta, it's like affirmative action. Like, that doesn't make anybody feel better. Everybody wants to be judged on merit. Everybody wants the same opportunities. And so it's just a different way of thinking. And this current way of thinking, as we know, is super poisonous. And so the fact that a federal court makes us think that way is wrong. And I actually think the Harvard case pretty much clearly says it's unconstitutional. So it's time.
Yeah.
Real quickly before we go to break, how's the campaign going? Do you have any events coming up? How can people find out more? And then regarding school boards, should they just reach out to the Attorney General's office and
they can,
like, hey, is Catherine there?
Yeah, they can reach out to me. You're probably the easiest way to reach me is through your legislator. They all know how to find me, so that'd be an easy way to get in touch. Like I said, I already heard from a few of them, and people have come up to me in speeches just over the last week and said,
it's encouraging.
Really interesting. So yeah, campaign's going well. I'm looking forward to just spending the Easter weekend with my family, and this is my last event of the day on Good Friday since both my children are out of school.
I was going to say, you should have been like, sorry, Rightside, I'm not coming in.
No, it's a good conversation. But yeah, campaign's going well. We're just grinding it out till May 19th.
Gosh,
Websites
it can't come soon enough.
I know. But every day I have left is another day I get to make my case to people. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Great way of looking at it.
You can find me on social media. All over the place. If you like the policy hot takes, legal hot takes, X would be the place. KG Rob 27, Catherine for Attorney General, Catherine Robertson for Attorney General on Facebook, Catherine for AG on Instagram, CatherineForAG.com.
Just type it in.
Just Google me.
And it's KATHERINE.
Yes, the fancy way, of course.
It's very fancy.
Pinky's out.
Yes.
Drink that coffee.
So I think I'm about to go hit the water skis.
I think you should.
Do you know how many people if you all missed it, we did a great podcast with Catherine Robertson a few weeks ago. And one of our questions was, if you had a dream job that you could have outside of politics, what would it be? She is like a professional water skier. And I have to ask if anybody watched that, that's like, forget the policy talk. Everybody want to talk about her water skiing, but are you barefoot?
No, I'm on a slalom.
You're on a slalom.
Okay,
but she's water skiing She's got the handlebars, or what do you call
Come on,
them?
throw the picture back
ski
up there,
rock.
man.
I
Come
really
on.
need to find the picture.
But she's holding it with her foot, one foot on the ski, one foot holding the rope with her foot, and she's just like casually peace signing it. We're like, what in the world?
Yeah, I think it is very, very important that Alabama have a very conservative, a very qualified, and a very not boring attorney general. That is my goal.
I love it.
Don't be boring.
Well,
No.
I'll never forget the first time I met you. I don't even know why I said this.
Oh gosh,
But
what did you say?
I asked you if you did pageants,
oh,
and you were like, "So, no, I played basketball." You were clearly extremely athletic. You did do a pageant, though.
I,
Where
Didn't
did you
do
grow
one?
up?
in Selma. Okay, we had like one pageant.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom made me do it. She said I need to work on my interview skills.
Thanks,
see
Mom.
what happened?
Thanks.
See what happened? This was so poised.
You were
World
so
peace.
professional.
Look at that.
World peace.
Also, I have a talent. I can water ski.
So
I mean,
fun.
that's impressive.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
that was
impressive.
good.
Yeah.
You can go check out that podcast.
Yeah.
You
Podcast was
should.
fun.
You should.
Our YouTube page, Rightside Media. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun.
Keep us updated on
Y'all
this.
aren't boring, by the way.
No,
We do our best.
no.
It's important.
Life's too
Li-
short.
It's short and life is deadly serious right now. But I also think even for the people that are like, very serious, God has a sense of humor and we need to exercise
That's
that.
a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'm convinced. He put a piece of silver in a fish's mouth. Come on, man.
That's
funny.
funny.
I don't care who you are. That's funny.
I'll tell you this: there doesn't seem to be a lot of joy in people who run for public office. Everybody seems mad. Everybody's always, wagging their fingers at each other all the time. There are even groups you go speak to, and everybody seems mad. And I'm like, guys, let's don't be mad. Like there are serious problems, there are things we need to fix, and these jobs we're running for are serious. But I'm gonna have a darn good time trying to do this because if I'm gonna be away from my family, my friends all the time, I might as well have fun. So
100%. I say that all the time. I'm like, life brings you enough hardship and is serious enough on its own that if you can make it fun,
yeah,
you should absolutely choose the fun choice.
absolutely.
Yeah. If y'all weren't fun, I wouldn't do this every day.
That's good to know.
I'm just saying. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy
Appreciate
Friday.
it. Yes. A good Friday. We'll be right back.
JP here with Rightside. I need to remind you that Inspired Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. We know this audience, and you're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles and being good stewards of your resources. What if the companies you're invested in don't reflect your values at all? That's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspired Advisors. Inspired Advisors, they are experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. They can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspired Advisors, you got to go check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio.
Give what you don't have. And so for her, she really struggles. And she's typical. She's a millennial. She is very typical of if you're not kind and you don't do it the right way, you're wrong. I'm like, where's the grace in that? But they don't have grace because they don't understand it.
Is this across the board? Like, I don't know if there's a little chat group of all the NARM therapists out there, but I'm
Yes.
curious if it's more pervasive in the South, just the Southern
no.
culture. No, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. NARM, the model that I use, is worldwide, and it's kind of ironic. But when we do our Zooms, when you do your trainings, you're on Zooms. There'll be people from all over the world, and they'll say, Heather, and then it'll say he, she, it, whatever your pronouns are, and we'll have people from, one was from China, one was from Scotland, my favorite accent. And she was saying, what is this she, her thing? She was like, and we had to explain, in America, you have to say your pronouns. And the woman was like, what? You are who you are. But in
wow.
America, it's up for debate. But in other countries, that's not even an issue. They don't deal with it. And so we're kind of in that place where we're making up things.
Yes.
To be upset about, to be offended by, or to draw a line in the sand. This makes you on this side and me on this side, when we've missed the point. We need to go a little bit deeper than a soundbite, in my opinion.
But okay, so how did we get here? Before we move on with how we handle this, but how did we get here? Is this a social media thing? Is it Yes, you're nodding.
Well, social media is definitely on the tail end of it, but it's been there before. It really, in my opinion, sociologically, you can go back to when we stopped asking for the third question and teaching critical thinking to our children. I can completely disagree with someone and respect their opinion, hold space for them to share it,
Right.
because I could learn from the other side. There are things I could learn. I mean, I was brought up in a very small bubble. I was born on a military base, lived overseas during Vietnam in a military base in Germany, and watched the way they did it. Troops would come back from Vietnam and they would come to Germany and get safe and healed a little bit more before they'd transport them back to Walter Reed in Maryland. And so that's what my first 6 years of life was seeing what that looked like. It's a very narrow point of view. I thought military, it was like God, country, family is the way I was raised. And that's just not it. So when I came back, it was a very different world. And so that's what we've got to recognize is people only know how to live from their experience. If they are not taught to think critically and they're not taught to respect everyone's opinions, and not just that the opinion is valid, their opinion can be valid and wrong.
That's good.
Truth does not bend. Truth is a fact. Truth is from God. And if that's not your starting point, you've got to come up with what your true north is, your compass. But if truth doesn't align with my personal opinion, I've got to do business with the Lord to figure out why it doesn't. And what have I set up that I think this is more important? The kindness. Like if kindness is your idol, it has to be done in a certain way. Like my 15-year-old will tell me, well, if you would have said it nicely. I'm like, child, nice was the first 62,000 times I've said it to you. You are no longer getting nice. And she's like, but you lose the argument, Mom, when you raise your voice. And I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be horrible for me. I'm Italian. I'm like, But that's what we've got to do is we've got to learn how to hold our space without getting angry, without elevating. Because for me, volume doesn't mean I'm angry. Volume just means I'm passionate. But this generation doesn't understand anger and passion. That's why we've got a lot of discord around people getting involved in things they should not be involved in, getting in the way of ICE. And like I have that conversation almost on a daily basis with my 26 to 15-year-old children, how important it is for them to understand they're not protecting these people. They're getting in the way of law and order. And it's a hard concept for them because the social-minded, emotional generation that they're in thinks we have to protect these people. And I'm like, who are you protecting? And we have to have those conversations. Yeah.
So do you think then on and still staying with the how and the why, do you think that we're here because of all the concentration of social emotional learning in school without those concrete logical things that we learned? We learned how to think logically. We learned how to think critically, and then it just kind of evaporated. Because it seems to me that from all of the emphasis on social emotional learning, we also have then that spike in 20%? I had the 20-ish% of 18 to or Gen Zs have increased and think they're identifying as LGBTQ. I mean, like these things that they're agreeing to or saying they believe in don't make any sense unless they were schooled and trained in all of the SEL techniques. Is that part of it?
It is definitely part of it. I think there's, it's not a silo. Nothing is happening, independent of the other. So you take that, you take this push towards tolerance, acceptance, and I don't mean that either one of those are wrong in theory, because they're not wrong in theory. But what it introduced, it's kind of like the law of unintended consequences. I wanted to do this, but it also did this. And so that unintended consequence was we muddied a lot of waters. And as we started teaching it younger and younger and younger, these children don't have the structure and the framework in their brain yet to feel safe when we discuss these topics. So that's why we've got so much anxiety in these kids, is because they're handling topics that we as adults struggle to deal with, but we're giving it to them younger and younger and younger. And like my 15-year-old said the other day, well, is he heterosexual because that's all he's ever tried, or did he try the other and decide he's heterosexual? And I was like, why would you have to try something to decide that is not who you are? And she was like, well, it's an option now. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
it's always been an option. My response to her, it's always been an option. Going outside of what God has made has always been an option. But it's, where do you draw your line of, I don't need to try that to know this isn't right. And she was like, well, I just think that's important that people try things. And I was like, oh, okay. Yes, Christian home.
Yep.
And she's still being influenced at 15 by this culture that she's in, because she's soaked in it. And she's got a phone in her pocket that lets her Google anything she wants, TikTok anything she wants.
But that's a good point about the schools. I wrote down schools, parents, politicians, social media. I remember we did a talk about SEL and things going on in schools probably 3 or 4 years ago. And there was an example of, like you said, tolerance and acceptance on face value is not bad. But this was about allyship. If y'all remember, that was a big buzzword for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was talking to elementary school kids about being allies with people in their class. And the example was, are you really being an ally and a supporter of your friend when he thinks she's a she? This is elementary school, and wants to come into the bathroom with you. No, you're not. You're not supporting them. So to be a good person, this is what our school, this is in Birmingham. To be a good person, you have to deny yourself, deny your uncomfortable feelings, and allow that boy to come into the bathroom. And so our kids are being just bombarded with that. But it is such a remarkable line. Like I look at my kids sometimes like they're aliens. It's very weird. I'm like, where did you come from?
It makes no sense. Yes.
Okay, so we're not the only ones that feel this way.
Oh, no. I had a personal experience with my now 15-year-old when she was in 6th grade. I'm sure I've told Amy Beth about this. She was not good at getting into her locker, as most 6th graders are not. So she just carried everything in a backpack. Well, she was confronted in the hall one day by a girl who apparently had been slipping notes in her locker saying that she liked my child. And my child was like, what? And she did that whole thing where she said, are you anti-gay? Do you not like me? Do you, what's the problem? And Madison was like, well, I didn't know. And so she went to the guidance counselor and she asked the guidance counselor at her middle school, what do I do? And she said, well, what would your response be if it was a boy who said that? And she said, well, I would say that I'm not old enough to date and that I don't like you that way. And so she told the girl that. And the girl proceeded to tell the entire school that she was gay and that she wasn't an ally. So she got it from both ends. So now all the straight kids didn't want to sit with my child, and all the gay kids didn't want to sit with my child. So my child was eating lunch in the bathroom under what the school counselors are taught to do. No shade at them. That is what they're being taught to do, is handle it as if it was either way. My child was barely 12 years old. She was not ready for that conversation. She was not ready to eat lunch in the bathroom. And she comes home, and of course, she's got anxiety. And I was like, yes, you do, babe. Because your brain cannot hold the mantle that is being placed on your shoulders in middle school. These are decisions that we do not need to be talking to 6th graders about. I mean, a crush is a crush. But when it comes, as Ben Franklin says, your right to extend your finger stops when it hits my nose. That's where that child's right stopped. But she was confronted in front of, the whole, and it spreads like wildfire now that they've all got it. It's not just you're going to get bullied at school. It's on social media. It's Snapchat. It's, all the things. So it's rough. And yes, it's not just one school. It's everywhere. The way they're being trained is definitely inclusive of all.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed our intermission.
Where was the music?
It's gone.
Did we blow past the music?
We are past the music at this point.
Everybody, thank
Oops.
you for sticking with us today.
It's
It's
all a mess.
a Good Friday, and we're kind of in done with work mode, even though we have 2 more work calls after this.
Oh shoot.
I know. I'm going to take one of them from the garden shop, by the way.
Okay.
But actually in my car from the garden shop, because I tried to cheap it out, Allison Sinclair, and it turns out there are certain things you can't cheap out. Like double
Feel it.
begonias. They're not going to be
I don't know anything
the big
about
box
this.
stores. Jared, you know what I'm talking about, man. This is the year my garden lives. Anywho, okay. Guess what time it is, you guys? It's Friday. It's time for JP on Sports.
Okay. You just said it how Phil would say it every time. That's kind of crazy.
Did I really?
Before we had that sound effect, I'd play the boom and he would just go, JP on Sports.
It's
That was
the
a blast from
coffee.
the
It's
past.
the coffee.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, we have talked almost every day about the Jaden Ivey situation. So I think I can cover that towards the end, but I think we've pretty much covered all angles on it already. This is an interesting story from Yellowhammer News, though, that I figured we'd talk about. This is written by Michael Bronner. NCAA passes new regulation to limit blind transfers through portal.
What does that mean?
The NCAA has taken a small step to try to regulate the chaos that has been the transfer portal the last several years. Through the NCAA Division I cabinet, emergency blind transfer legislation was passed on Wednesday, which will place some guardrails on the practice of players committing to schools outside of designated portal windows.
Oh.
While this has already been against the rules, the term, quote, blind transfer has been used to describe players who unenroll from their current school and enroll at a new university outside of the window where this is allowed.
Huh.
Well, why would you do that?
To get around the time constraints.
So
and the
so if you
commitments.
okay.
So as with if you are a part of one school and you have to transfer to the other, there's windows and time frames when you're allowed to do that. But if you unenroll from the school, you can commit early because technically you're not currently still at that school, and you can get around the time constraints and you can get there earlier than the rules allow. So
And then
it's a
you can
loophole.
play.
And then you're allowed to play. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a loophole. But it's interesting. The NCAA is still trying to somehow put this back in Pandora's box with stuff like this. But I don't know, Amy Beth, you've got college athletic kids. What do you think about this? And do you think it's overreach? Because honestly, with a lot of stuff like this, as somebody who doesn't have as much skin in the game of college athletics, I think it's interesting. You often provide a perspective I don't think of when it comes to stuff like this. What do you think about this?
There is a bit of animosity on the players towards the NCAA because they seem to just make arbitrary rules and rulings, and there's no rhyme or reason to what's going on. So while I do appreciate guardrails, because it does happen where the unenrollment happens and then the re-enrollment, whatever they decide to do, they need to do and be orderly and disciplined, regardless of the kid they're dealing with. Because it's like anything in life, the better ones can do whatever they want. It's like Jaden Ivey said, the guy who made the gay slur, he makes the money. They're not going to do anything with him. Same thing with the high-level kids. They make their school money. They can do what they want. So I think the NCAA needs to put blinders on to all of the things outside the rules that they decide. I think it makes sense to do this because it does happen. Kids find a way around, it seems, everything these days in regards to athletics. And I do wish that, number one, we would limit that transfer, like Coach said, 5 consecutive years, but also we resemble the football where you have to play for 3 years. There are certain things I think they could do to kind of mitigate the disaster that they just unleashed 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this, but they need to be very uniform and disciplined about it.
I agree. And this wasn't even Congress and this is the problem too, where the NCAA, they're often being ruled against in these injunctions and court cases because there's not like federal rule or federal law to back up a lot of them. And when the NCAA is so picking, like they pick and choose who can have another year of eligibility, who can do this and that. I think with stuff like this, the NCAA putting as many rules on paper as possible helps, but it's still, especially in this world of college athletics, when kids are trying, like you said, to find ways around everything. When the NCAA does not stick to their rules constantly with everything and it's black and white and it's up for debate without federal law backing it, then that's where you get like the Bediako cases. You get like the Trinidad Chambliss Ole Miss quarterback who gets his 6th year when the NCAA told him no. So I think if the NCAA can put as many black and white rules as possible, the better. But ultimately, rules schmoles in this world of NCAA, I guess.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
that is a correct assessment.
And is the wild, wild west, and it's frustrating. But we'll see. We'll see if that causes less chaos. It's especially gonna. I think college football is the one where that hurts the most. This technically didn't apply to this rule, but there was a kid that committed to Alabama, enrolled in classes, or no, he didn't commit. He signed with Alabama, enrolled in classes, and I guess started to take NIL money. And then after he had already signed, Texas came in. It's like, why just come for a visit? Come on. And he ended up going for a visit and unenrolling in Alabama and then enrolling in Texas. And there's like no rule, or there's no punishment or repercussions against that. So I think the more rules, the better. I think this is going to affect college football the most out of all of them. But
I think we've given up. Coaches used to say they wanted to have kids with character or grow them into men of character. And this is wearing down character at every level. There's a difference between if you're an athlete and you've been injured and you get your time back versus an athlete and you want to try one more year, because if one more year gets you closer to the NFL or the NBA, you want to try it. That's two totally different things. So there's no allowances made for that. But also, coaches need to get back to figuring out NIL, figuring out these rules, and being committed more than anything else to creating men of character. That's hard to do right now.
I agree. Well, I'll briefly talk new stories on the Jaden Ivey situation. And for those who aren't aware, this was the kid that was cut from the Bulls because he spoke out against the Pride Night that the Bulls were having. And he was cut from the team for conduct detrimental to the program. And the coach, Billy Donovan, then said that he didn't uphold the standards that the Bulls organization holds, because they all come from different backgrounds and they want to be unified as an organization. We're seeing more and more people come out in support of him, though. Fellow NBA players are speaking in support of him, and fellow athletes as a whole. But in my opinion, honestly, Jaden Ivey has to go to the lengths that are available to him to punish the Bulls for doing that, because you can't just fire somebody because of their religious beliefs. But here's the problem too. It's so wishy-washy from the sense of, conduct detrimental to the organization. Like, that's so subjective. So there is objectivity to the fact, if it's based off religious beliefs and such. But, I'm worried the Bulls are going to come back and argue that his public statements, his language or whatever, and they're going to find a loophole around it. But the hypocrisy around the NBA, but most importantly, in my opinion, it was the arrogance behind it, that they can just cut this kid loose and not offer up an explanation. They probably didn't even expect it to become a story like it has. It's just, they have to be held accountable with this, in my opinion. They have to feel the pain somehow, because if that is allowed to happen, then that just starts a slippery slope. But also, it's just a glimpse into how wokeified, not just the NBA, but a lot of these corporate sports leagues have become. I mean, obviously, we've known that with like the Black Lives Matter and kneeling for George Floyd and such. But even 6 years later, we're still at the point where you can lose your job and lose millions because you speak out for something that you believe in, which is terrible and it's insane. And then, like you mentioned yesterday, Amy Beth, how do you raise your kids too? Because if you've got kids who want to be in the NBA or the NFL or whatever, but they don't want to give up their religious beliefs or their values, it's almost like they're teaching the kids a lesson that if you don't do that, then you'll lose your job. You almost have to change who you are to accomplish the dreams that you want to accomplish, which is just a horrible precedent to set and message to send. But I don't know. I'm hoping that Jaden Ivey pursues the full legal paths to hold the Bulls accountable for this, because this is just ridiculous.
It's so dumb. Don't you think?
Yeah, and I just can't get over the hypocrisy of it, but I don't know why we're surprised. I mean, it's in the legal systems, it's in politics, it's in the DC, it's in Montgomery. I mean, it's in our schools, the liberals, the left, the progressive ideas, they get a pass on all their drama, on all the whatever they cause. I mean, it's very disruptive. But we are the domestic terrorists. We're the ones they come after all the time. I hope he continues down this path of, fighting back. There's a fine line though. You have to do it well and smartly. Is that a word?
Intelligently.
Smartically. And I hope he does that, because the more frustrated and flustered you get, maybe the more emotive, and I just don't want him, like you said, to make a misstep in this, to really give them a reason. It needs to be about his religion, which we know it is. Don't give them any other reason to be able to back up their decision.
Amen to that, sister.
Preach it.
Well, real quick, okay, who's y'all's prediction to win the Final Four?
I lose, so I don't know.
We need to do. I haven't checked the bracket.
Okay,
Well, have they even
I'm
played?
at 12%. I don't know what I'm at. I'm going to say 12. Okay, who's playing, sir, tomorrow?
We got Arizona and Michigan, which
Okay.
in my opinion is the real national championship.
Agree with that 100%.
And then, okay, sorry, let me pull up.
And then UConn
UConn and Illinois.
Oh, Illinois is not winning.
No, UConn will win.
UConn's on a roll. That shouldn't have happened. So I'm going to say UConn. Gosh, the Michigan-Arizona is the game.
God, this is embarrassing.
I
Go ahead,
don't
say
know.
it, JP. Say it.
Allison is at
Do it.
83%.
Oh, this is so annoying.
I'm at 37.4. Amy Beth's at 14%.
I said 12. I was close.
Well, technically 14.9.
14.9. That's actually 15%, JP.
Seriously, I need you. Allison is winning bigly in your Trump voice.
Allison is winning bigly in the March Madness.
That's good.
Amy Beth and JP are losers.
We're going to have a duel with water pistols.
So here's my problem. In one of my brackets, I'm losing the Yellowhammer bracket. Well, I'm not losing. I'm in the middle, but I think I have Michigan winning that one, and then I think I have Arizona winning ours. So they're playing each other today. So
One of them's going to lose.
I'm kind of screwed in one of them.
My prediction is Michigan's going to win it all.
They're unbelievable.
And it's really frustrating.
Unbelievable.
Should have stuck with me.
Well, the thing I'm looking forward to is I'm going to make my own pizza crust because
Oh
I
my
learned some new
gosh.
things about pizza.
Miss Betty Crocker over here.
My weekend is based around what am I baking? That's what makes me happy, because then I can think. See, everybody has their thing that they do where they're able to think, and that's how I think, is baking. That's just why. So.
I will say this, though. I guess we have to start doing Allison on sports, because
Allison
at
on
83.
sports.
No,
Oh, she's our football girl.
I could do some football, basketball.
That's why we're a team.
Yeah, that I got nothing really on. I got some pretty jersey colors and some funny names.
This is just.
That's about it.
Yeah.
What do we have time to do? We still have Clown World.
Yeah, but Allison,
What?
do you know who JP on Sports is brought to you by?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Inspired Advisors.
besties.
Moneypatternwealth.com is Inspired Advisors websites. If you haven't heard about Paul Breiner's team at Inspired Advisors, you need to go check them out. They're experts in what is called biblically responsible investing, where they make sure your portfolio is in line with your Christian values and you're not investing in any companies that are woke. And none of that. You can grow your bottom line while also being
Grow
true
your bottom.
true to your values. So go check them out today. That's www.moneypatternwealth.com. Paul Breyer and his team at Inspired Advisors. Go check them out today. They are the sponsor of JP on Sports.
Every time he says that, I want to giggle. So I just did.
Grow your bottom.
Grow your bottom line. Is bottom line one word?
I don't think so. And
Okay.
in this sense, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anywho, we have time for Clown World.
Okay, let's
I
do
can't
it.
wait.
I have to say, this Clown World is a pretty good one.
Okay, can't wait.
So,
All right.
Yeah, and they are going for all humanity this time, you know. Apollo was all white men, and this time it's not. And I think that really speaks volumes for the journey that NASA has been on. And this is a much more representative crew, and you can feel emotional about that. It's
Salamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Ladies and gentlemen, as Muslims across the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth begin preparations to celebrate Eid after fasting for the holy month of Ramadan, I just wanted to convey my heartfelt best wishes.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Hello, it's the Master. The reason I have red lipstick on is because I'm at the demonstration in Traverse City. There are thousands of us. And red lipstick, I was informed last night by my friend Jen, was a form of resistance when Hitler was trying to take over the world.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's unfortunate, my friend, that you went through that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As my friend, who is also an attorney, said that they gave you the N-word treatment.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. If I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she.
That doesn't make sense.
That was Gavin Newsom's wife, by the way.
So we know what a woman is and what her traditional role is.
I want to go now.
That's lame.
I mean, he was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yeah, you forget that. But yes, then Trump sent her off to Greece. She gone.
She gone. She out.
She deuces.
So we got the British reporter saying that this mission is actually good for humanity because it's not all white men like Apollo's was. And so now that this one is much more representative of the world, and it needs to be celebrated.
We are the world. We are the children.
Well, thank goodness there was a woman on there because she fixed the toilet. I'm serious.
Did she actually?
Yes, she fixed the toilet.
Yeah,
she's a housekeeper.
Duh.
She's a space keeper. Keeper of spaces.
Some jokes write themselves.
That's just good. So did he as a white man not find that ironic?
He's a self-hating white man, as most liberals are.
Boy, that must be exhausting.
He didn't sound very excited about it, though. He was like, he sounds kind of like us today. It was a really great day for humanity, and it's something to really get excited about. He needed some coffee. Well, you got your coffee. I need coffee. He needs coffee.
Poor British man.
He's trying to convince himself.
Boy.
And
take yourself home, buddy.
Speaking of the British, and then Prince Charles.
When did he
King
convert?
Charles.
This is what I want to know. I've heard that it's been years ago, but that he's actually Muslim. I read it. I got on I did some reading. I think the man converted.
Well, yeah, and they're not doing an Easter message. He's not doing an Easter message, but he did a Ramadan message. But if some Englishmen in the 1800s would have saw that, they would have thought that they got conquered.
Yep. Well,
Fully.
they have.
They have.
Yeah. And think about even then they were fighting back then called them Mohammedans. They've been fighting them since the 600s. The world has, because they're fighting people. I'm sorry, that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
The Queen used to always do really great Easter thingy-mabobs over there. I'm getting ready to sneeze.
Bless you.
What's the word you're supposed to say? Watermelon?
Watermelon.
Look at the light.
It's gone.
Okay.
There you go.
No, I think that's quite disappointing. And actually, I hope that he just puts his son, installs William instead. Like, he needs to go away.
You think William's better?
I hope William's not a Muslim,
I don't think he's a Christian.
but I haven't seen him as out front and center with Islam as Charles has been.
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
So the one guy who was wearing red lipstick in protest of Trump because that was a thing in World War II with Hitler. Did men actually wear lipstick in World War II to protest Hitler?
I'm pretty sure the women did.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Let me look it up.
And he's just being a biscuit.
Yeah, because if a man wore red lipstick during the time of Hitler, he would have been javelined.
No, men did not typically wear lipstick to protest Hitler. Instead, wearing red lipstick became a specifically female-driven act of defiance and patriotism in allied countries during World War II. So this guy's just trying to be gay.
Yeah. He is needs to be punched in the face and brought back to reality. You look ridiculous with your beard. That was the grossest part. It was like red and then hair.
Yeah, there's a lot of people a punch in the face would do them good. Maybe they'll a little bit.
Who, if you could punch somebody in the face, who would it be? Okay, nobody we know.
Okay,
Nobody we know. And this
Yeah.
is done
Out of love.
out of love.
Yeah, and we're
trying to-
metaphorically, like we
yeah.
would never physically assault anyone.
No, it's not threatening.
Who needs a wake up call? Like, get it together.
Okay. Can we just make a list starting with Christy Noem's husband?
You could go up and just pop his
Just-
balloons.
Who else? No, seriously, who else?
I think Don Lemon could use one.
Okay, I'm for Don Lemon getting clocked. Tim Waltz,
Tim Waltz does need one.
Gavin Newsom, but he'd cry like a girl.
Y'all wouldn't go after any of us.
Who of us would you go after? It's going to jog my memory as soon as you said
Donald
it.
Trump. I might like to grab. I actually want to grab him and just be like, "Where are you? Come back! You're gone." He seems. Was that funny?
Yes.
Yeah, like snap out of it.
Hello, is anybody in there?
Yeah, something ain't right.
But it's true though. The first time you get punched in the face, it's like your world changes.
Yeah,
Really?
You're like,
Yes. Yeah. You get hit good for the first time, and you're like, "Woof." Yeah.
Does it get easier the more you get punched?
You get more used to it. But
Ooh.
So you're like that. It does it not hurt as badly, or you just
your pain
know-
tolerance, you get used to it.
Yeah.
But the first time you've never felt that before, and you're like, but then after a while you learn. But still, if you get hit in the chin, regardless,
You're wobbly.
feels like, I'm not kidding. I got clipped good one time on the chin, and it felt like my tongue hit the tip of a battery. I felt it in my tongue, and it like zoop all the way to my toes. I didn't get dropped or anything, but I felt it, and I was like, I literally got jolted. But that's what it's like. But no, but getting punched in like the nose and the face, you slowly get more used to it.
What's happening when you feel your tongue in your toes?
No, you feel it from your tongue to your toes. It's like a jolt of electricity that starts in your tongue, and it like.
Yeah, but
So
what
they
is
hit you
all
at the right
connected?
nerve?
I guess so, but it's the chin, the jaw area. That's the
Like
sweet
it goes
spot.
I'm
to your
glad I'm not a
brain,
dude.
Yeah,
I guess,
it's
and then your brain's like, "Holy schmoly!"
Yeah, but I mean, I just got punched a lot, but that was the one time where I got clipped in the jaw, and I was like,
Explain to everybody why you're getting punched a lot, though.
because I used to be an MMA fighter.
It's not like you start fights in Walmart.
No, I was an MMA fighter for a year and a half. Had 2 fights.
And you trained.
Yeah, every day for 3 hours.
How do you have time?
I did because I dropped out of college. That was right after I dropped out of college.
Yeah, and you needed an outlet. I get it.
And I did kickboxing training for an hour and a half, and then jujitsu for an hour and a half right after every day.
Oh my word.
Jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Well, Good Friday, y'all.
Yeah, it wasn't Good Friday.
I
Good
think.
Friday.
Can we all go home and take naps and rest this week and come back Monday?
Please.
I need a little more dramatic than that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great week. It was a long week. I hope you enjoy the weekend with your family, with your friends. Enjoy. Sunday is coming. Isn't that always like today? It's kind of dark and drab. You're like,
Sunday's coming.
you know what? Every day, Sunday's coming, not just on Easter. Y'all enjoy the basketball, playing basketball. Wait, we'll be back on Monday though. So the finals are on
Yes.
Monday, right?
Monday night.
Okay.
So we don't have to cover that yet. Okay. Shh. Happy Easter, y'all. We'll see you Monday on the right side.